Alright folks, this is another try at my modified version of Monster Skin. But one thing I want to say is the Ambroid Pro Weld does not go good with these models. I had another break, just like Godzilla's tail, if you remember that in an earlier video. This time it's King Ghidorah's tail. Just snapped right off. You know, if that glue's doing its job, it won't snap. So I'm going to have to clean this up. Breaks again, we're going to have to pin it up using some brass rods or something. But it's neither here nor there. I just want to give you a heads up. If you ever get hold of this model kit somehow, someplace, no Ambroid Pro Weld on it. Just doesn't like it. Alright, so I've got it going in 3 different places this time. Let's see the end results. End result on this one looks pretty good, actually. Some of it came off in the mold. If I'm careful, actually it doesn't matter. Where it came off, there was good detail to begin with. I'm going to have to clean this up a little bit. Let's let you see what I'm seeing. Because way back over there, you can't see that. Okay? Now you can see it. If I get the lighting right, you can see it. Yeah, you can see it. You can see that it's on there. It's not real thick. It's looking pretty decent. I'm going to do some scraping and cleaning up. But I probably got about half of this piece seam done with that right there, without it looking bad at all. So this method's working. Let's try the other piece here. I'm using clamps to hold these things on there with. My first attempt at this one came out poorly. It came out poorly again. First attempt at this one came out poorly, and you can see it came out poorly again. It replicated the pattern over there, but I need to replicate it here. So I'm going to have to scrape all that off and start over. But down here, that came out beautifully. Little thick in spots, but again, I can fix that with some judicious, with some good sanding. But that came out good. So we're close to finishing the seam off. Alright, now that I got a method that works for most of it, I'm going to quit videotaping my results and my experiments and get going. But I want to recap real quick. This does work. I'm taking my Oya Maru, making a mold of a place where there is no seam. Then what I do is I lay a really small piece of AVES along the seam. Then you have to carefully set the mold down on top and then clamp it immediately. Any movement once this mold sets down on top of your piece, and it's gone. It's done for. And that's probably what happened here. Because it gave me a good pattern, just not where I needed it. Alright? So the mold probably shifted over and spread the stuff out. Either that or I'm clamping it down a little too hard with this piece right here. Which is a possibility. Because when I look at this, I can feel the detail in this mold, and this detail is great. So just a quick update to let you guys see what's going on. Also, I have seam filled his feet. And I really didn't try to replicate the diamond pattern there, primarily because there was no diamond pattern to begin with. It was kind of a rough cloth looking pattern, so I put the AVES on and just wrapped it up in this blue tea towel, and it gave a pretty good approximation to the pattern that was already there and blends in fairly well. Another thing, almost got Mothra ready for paint. Yes, Mothra's in. So I got a little bit more work to do on her seams, because Mothra is always a her. Put her antenna on, paint. Mothra's there. So we're going to have Mothra in this thing. Alright, just want to give you guys a quick update. Okay, King Ghidorah update. Now, first thing, I've been working on the necks. And as you can see, I've got the main seam line down the center of this neck gone. That wasn't too bad. I've already told you, I've already got the seam line down the center of those gone. My big problem is the seam line that runs around the center where the 2 joints are. I'm going to have to file that off. I mean, I didn't do any filling or nothing on that, and you can see it's bulging in places, like right there. And I don't know why that's bulging. I did no seam work, I did no nothing, and it's bulged. So I'm just going to have to take Mr. Dremel and grind that out or something. and then use the little monster skin technique I'm using. Speaking of which, let's show you how that's going. Okay? Here's one of the tails. There's no skin there, and there's skin there, and you can see that is coming out matching the surroundings fairly well. There's no skin in a few spots. I'm having a lot of trouble skinning here, and I'm going to have a lot of trouble skinning that bend. I haven't quite figured out how I'm going to handle the two of those yet, but I'm sure I'll figure it out. But preliminary results are looking good here. And I got a fix for the underside of the tail. I don't know if I said this in a previous video, I might have. I've been watching the movies. Underside of the tail has a nice dark brown stripe running along it. Where they, I guess since they dragged it around so much, they just reinforced it with a dark brown stripe. So I'm not going to worry too much about skinning that with this, because again, I get a section done about that big in 3 hours. This is not a fast process. And most I can do that twice a day, but I'm usually only getting once a day at it. And there's a lot of seams on this guy. I have to add the necks. I still have to go around the main body. Another added thing, watched one of the movies really closely today. Around the leg joints on King Ghidorah, there are no scales. Don't know why, but I don't know if I'm going to replicate that or not either. I'm going to have to go back and watch another one just to make sure. Yeah, good excuse for watching another Godzilla movie. Well, there you go. There's a quick update. Talk to you later. Okay, I got to do a last resort kind of thing. Working on the seam. This is the third time this has come apart. You know, the Ambroid Pro Weld left some sort of residual behind, and this thing just won't glue anymore. So, time to get the Aves out. I'm going to make a pin joint. It's the only thing I can think to do. Drill a hole in there, put a piece of brass rod, shove this full of Aves, drill a hole for that brass rod, glue them together. Gives me a pin. It'll keep it from coming apart on me anymore. But dang, that is annoying, because I can't do anything with this until that's done. Oh well, I'll work on the other one. You know, I'm about to give up on that damn Ambroid Pro Weld. Another break. Just broke another place. Got some Aves in this end, curing, so I can then drill it out and make a pin joint. But jeepers. This is ridiculous. They have all these joints just breaking. So, you know, I'm not happy with that glue. Honestly, just not happy with it. Not. Alright folks, this tail's come apart for the 5th time and I'm tired of it. So, I think I told you guys I filled that with Aves. I got a piece of copper rod and I've drilled some holes and glued the copper rod in there and worked this until they align pretty close. Now all I have left to do is put some glue on that and glue them together. That should help hold them in place. I'm using super glue for this. I'm not using regular old styrene glue. And I'm going to have to do it with this end over here because it came apart for the 3rd time today. When I wasn't handling it roughly at all. So, here you go. I'm going to have to pin both ends of this tail. Have a good one.